sunny Spain. I'm here with this week's animation team. And as you can see, I have my earplugs in because we're right at the end of Falles, which is the huge festival in Valencia, Spain, celebrating basically spring, where they blow everything up and they burn stuff. This week we're talking about how to double your animation output in 7 easy steps. And it covers the same basic principles of any animation structure, which is your foundation, your structure, your details, and your polish. And so we'll get into that in a few seconds, but I'm going to enjoy the fireworks and my sangria, and I'll get back to you in a few minutes. Where it's slightly more calm, and this week we really have a lot to cover, so pardon me if I go a bit fast and I refer to my notes a lot because I don't want to miss anything. This is very important. Now, if you signed up for my free newsletter, then you've probably already gotten this in PDF form. If you've signed up recently, then you'll get it shortly. So basically, how to double your output, your animation output, in 7 easy steps follows the same principles as any animation. 4 basic structural guidelines, which is foundation, structure, details, and polish. Laid within those 4 are your 7 easy steps, and those 7 easy steps are part of foundation. You have the first 4. You have orientation and pre-planning, imagineering, inspiration, and planning. That's your foundation. Structure, you have blocking. Details, you have your second pass of animation, and then finally your polish is polish, and that's the 7 steps. Let's go into more detail. So first of all, your foundation. You need to get your orientation and your pre-planning done. You need to get to know your scene. You need to know where your scene fits into the overall production of your project. If you're on a film, how does this scene fit into the story? How does it fit into the character's arc? You know, is the character slightly different now than he is in a later scene? You need to understand where it all fits in. You need to memorize the audio. You need to listen to the audio so many times that you know it inside out and backwards. And then you need to get into the mood, you know, talk with the director, talk with whoever's the production manager, and get to know where your scene fits in. That's step 1, pre-planning. Step 2 is imagineering. Now, you've listened to the audio over and over again, you know exactly where your scene fits into the story. Close your eyes and imagine the scene playing out in your head. Listen to the audio and imagine your character or characters acting it out. Okay, imagine it the best way you can. Imagine how it would look if it was animated by the best animator on the planet, because that's what you want to copy, and that's what you're copying in your head. So imagine that, and then thumbnail it out quickly, maybe get some approval, maybe don't, depending on your pipeline. But this is very quick at this stage. Just thumbnail out some ideas, and then move on to step 3, which is inspiration. Go out there and be inspired. Watch all reference material that they have at the studio. Find your own. Just be inspired, and the important thing here is to get excited, because you're going to need this excitement for later stages. You're going to need to be excited in order to carry through with the momentum that you need in later stages to really make your animation awesome. So that's step 3. Step 4 is plan. Now that you have been inspired, sit down and reimagine your scene once again with that inspiration taking effect, and really plan it out. Really imagine it down to the specific details, and draw out your thumbnails and actually plan your staging, your silhouette, and you know, the 12 principles of animation start to apply here, and that's where you start applying staging, silhouette, and also appeal. And you want to get your key poses, your storytelling poses, set and down, and also some of your extremes, which is where direction changes. Okay, so this is your basic planning. And that's it for the foundation stage. Those are your 4 steps: orientation and pre-planning, imagineering, inspiration, and then planning. Okay, so those are the 4 steps. Now guess what? We're moving on to step 5, which is blocking, and that's part of structure. We're 70% done with these steps, and we haven't even touched our 3D package, okay? So that's a lot of work that we do before we even sit down in front of the computer to animate. A lot of work needs to be done. So structure, step 5 is blocking. Now, what I want you to do is, in order to do this properly, and to do it justice, and to do it quickly, which is what we really want to do here, you need to unplug, remove all distractions. If you're listening to music, turn it off. Leave your headphones in, but turn off the music, Close your email application, close your messenger application, turn off your cell phone, your pager, everything. Close the door if you can, because you need to focus on blocking. Now I want you to sit down and I want you to block. Go through your blocking pass without any distractions, without any stopping. Just do it. Be a machine, okay? As they say in Spain, todo máquina. Be a total machine and just do it. Just bulldoze through it. And go as far as you want with the blocking, you know, add in a bit of detail, but you need to at least be able to tell the story. We're not so much expressing emotion at this stage, but you need to at least tell the story that needs to be told in your scene through the blocking. It should be developed to that stage. Blocking should incorporate squash and stretch. It should actually be in your blocking stage. Your staging or framing, positioning, appeal of pose, appeal of character, timing should be worked out during the blocking stage, and also clarity. Is it clear what is happening in the scene? And that's in addition to your silhouette, which we cover in the first stage. Okay, you're done with blocking now. Take a break, relax. Okay, you've done some hard work, and if it's the first time you've really focused like this without any distractions, you're probably going to be exhausted. So go refresh, and then come back for phase 3. That's the details, and this is actually step number 6 of our 7 steps, and that is our second pass of animation. Now, our second pass of animation, once again, we need to cut out all distraction. We need to turn everything off, unplug, and have our cone of silence on, if you like. And we're going to add in some details now to our animation, and the principles of animation that we're going to be covering in detail here are anticipation, so we're going to be adding in more keys to cover anticipation, arcs, secondary action. Now a lot of people get confused between secondary action and overlap. Secondary action is not like hair moving, that's overlap. Well, it can be secondary action, but secondary action in this sense is more, I'm talking to you, that's my primary action. But if I were to pick up my water bottle at the same time, that's secondary action. It's not the storytelling action, it's secondary to the story. And it might tell you a bit more about my character. Maybe I've got lead poisoning and I need to keep drinking water. Maybe I had too much sangria and I'm a little bit dehydrated, I don't know. Don't spread any rumors. But that's secondary action, okay? So don't confuse that. So we're covering anticipation, arcs, secondary action, also the ease in and ease out, slow in, slow out. So if you block using stepped keyframes, now is the time to spline for all you animation mentor mentees out there. This is where we do that. Also reversal of arcs. That's a very important principle of animation that gives great vitality to your scene. And that, for instance, is if we have a really strong point, we reverse the arc of the spine. For instance, on the anticipation, the spine is arched back, and then it reverses to go down, and that reversal of arc gives great vitality. This is the details that we're adding in now. And also your timing, you want to really refine your timing, and then overlap and follow through. You want to start incorporating some of that, but not too much, because we still want to keep our keys on one frame so that all of our poses are pretty much on one frame. So if the director changes anything, we can go in, we can change it without too much of a headache. Now, don't lose focus at all until you finish this stage. Then once you've finished, once again, take a break, relax, step back from your animation for a little bit, go play ping pong or, you know, table tennis, I don't know, whatever they have at your studio, hopscotch, and also get your director's approval, because you want to be sure that the director agrees with where you're headed with the scene, because you put a lot of work in, and the next stage, which is polishing, is going to really mess things up. So you want to be sure your director is okay and is with you before you go on to the next stage. But take a break, relax. You've done another truckload of work, and this kind of focus can really take a lot out of you, so you might be a bit tired. Go and have a Coke, a coffee, whatever. I don't know what you do to recharge, but do it now. Then come back for the final stage, phase 4 of our animation, which is polish. And it's step 7, which is polish, of course. So you're really about to mess things up here, because we're going to start adding in a lot of secondary action and overlap, and we're going to push the staging, and we're going to be offsetting keyframes if we need to get nice overlap, you know, so things don't come to a stop all at once. We're really messing things up, so make sure your animation is exactly how you want it before you start polishing. But once you do, again, we need laser focus. Just cut out all distractions and get down to it, and do not stop until you finish. Don't stop animating to correct your workmate's Star Wars quotes, you know? don't do it, because you've uploaded all this information into your brain. You've uploaded the story, the character arc, all the different characters. You've got all this weight, timing, all these animation principles floating around your head, and they're in there interacting. And if you break your concentration to tell someone some trivial matter, or to answer an email or a phone call or anything, then you have to re-upload all that stuff, and that's where animation really takes way more time than it needs to. Okay? I just finished animating 45 seconds of animation, 3 characters, and I did that in 8 days. Okay? 3 characters, full action, full acting, dialogue in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. And I did it in 8 days. How did I do that? Because I focused. I did it in laser chunks. Okay? And this focus is what is also called the zone. I'm sure you've heard of people talking about, oh man, I'm in the zone. Pardon my cold. It's a byproduct of working 24 hours a day. But anyway, I'm sure you've heard people say, I'm in the zone, and this is what the zone is. We don't have time to talk in detail about the zone, but the zone is laser focus without distractions for a period of time. At least 2 hours is what you need if you want to call it the zone, okay? And you will be amazed at how much work you can get done when you're in the zone, and how quickly. And also, the quality of work will be just astounding, okay? When you work in the zone, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to put on your reels, and it's going to stand out above everyone else's, okay? And this is the true secret of great animators, okay? Good animators can work, you know, not in the zone, but if you're a great animator, it's because you're working in the zone, and your brain, all cylinders are firing, and you're just intently focused on your animation, on your scene, and on the task at hand. So those are the 7 steps. Again, the 4 stages of animation are your foundation, structure, details, and polish. Within those 4 stages, within the foundation, we have the first 4 steps, which is orientation and pre-planning, imagineering, inspiration, and planning. That make up your foundation. Then we have the structure, which is blocking. Then we move on to details, which is our second pass of animation. And then we move on to polish, which is the final stage, polishing, okay? And in each one of these, you want to enter into the zone a little bit, okay? And if you do that, I guarantee you're going to double your animation output, and you're going to really increase your quality. You're going to be blown away by the kind of animation you yourself are able to produce. So go ahead and try it out, and leave me a comment. Let me know how this works out for you. If you have some other ideas, you know, I've been getting a lot of great feedback on my other tutorials, and it's really good stuff to hear, and I'm going to be incorporating it into some other stuff that I'm building. And that's about it. Those are the 7 easy steps to double your animation output. And I'll tell you what, it sounds like a gimmick, but try it and see if it works.